Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. I am Empress La Portia, and the video that I'm bringing to you guys this time, I'm going to be sharing all of the downloads that I've been getting and how I've decoded what's happening cosmically. And that's going to be in relation to like events that have been happening or have happened and has happened in the past, how I connected the dots with the Statue of Liberty and the new statue that of the Black woman that's displayed in Times Square in New York, and how this all ties into the new Pope with the Creole in his blood. All right, so let's get into it. So the original concept of the Statue of Liberty, some people probably already know this, some people probably don't. Original concept of the Statue of Liberty, and I have my notes as usual because, like I said, this is a lot to remember. I got my typed up notes and I even got my little written notes jotted down. So the original concept of the Statue of Liberty was a gift from France as a universal symbol of freedom and the end of slavery. After research, it states, now I had heard this before and I'm quite sure a lot of other people have heard it before too, that there's no proof that it was supposed to be a Black woman. But be that as it may, it's supposed to represent freedom. That's the point that I'm trying to make. Now, it arrived in America on June 17th, 1885. Bookmark that date. Now, President Cleveland, at the time, once they finally got it, set up, erected, yeah. President Cleveland was over the dedication of the ceremony, and he stated, and I quote, Liberty has made her home here, and it is fitting that her chosen altar should stand at the gateway of this great nation. That was October 28, 1886. Now, 17 years later, this was in 1903. I had to do some little research on this, y'all. There was a poem that was installed inside the pedestal that was written in 1883. And this was way before it even came to the United States. This was by a Jewish poet, which redefined and rededicated the statue as a refuge for immigrants, specifically the Europeans, the Jews, for them to come for refuge and prosperity. The poem is called The New, I think it's pronounced Colossus. So, what am I saying? That the original meaning was already diluted before the completion of the statue in 1886. Now, when we go back to what President Cleveland stated, he said the chosen altar for her is at the gateway of this great nation. In other words, we've created an altar and a portal to give you this illusion of freedom. Now, all this is being done and said, yet the enslaved African people that were in America never benefited from this so-called freedom. Now I want to get into why I kept emphasizing altar gateway based on what he said when he did the dedication, President Cleveland. Where does the statue sit? On federal land. What is federal land? Federal land is owned and controlled by the federal government. The one I'm speaking of, where the Statue of Liberty sits, was formerly Bedloe's Island, I think that's how you say it, a military post from the early 1800s to 1937, later known as Fort Wood. Now, the height of the statue, from the pedestal to the very top to the torch, is 305 feet. That's, like I said, including the pedestal. In numerology, this equals 8. Now, this all sits on an 11-point star-shaped base. So you have the and I'm gonna try to put a picture up too. Yeah, that's what I do. I try to put a picture after I, do the recording, do an overlay. The 11-point base, and as I'm kind of explained in my last video about the number 11, the master number represent gateways or portal, because you can use the words interchangeably. Now, the number 8, power, authority, wealth, and success. Also, the balance between the material and spiritual worlds. So, they set up their altar and performed a global ritual to maintain power and to perpetuate greed and manipulation. It's so many layers to this, y'all. The 11 became a portal for energetic control. This is what I saw and what I decoded. The 8 for material and spiritual manipulation. Now, in rituals, water is used to amplify the intent, used to amplify the ritual, because it's like a reinforcement of the intent. A false goddess masking a deeper energetic gate, again, for global control. Like I said, it's called a ritual reversal or an inversion, is what I later found. New word, inversion. I never heard that before in regard to this. Inversion is basically a mocking of divine order. It's flipping a sacred truth into the opposite with the illusion of it still looking righteous. Now, that breaks down to basically your handshake ain't matching your smile, or they doing and saying one thing, but the energy that you feeling ain't matching. That's in essence what it is in our lingo. The statue supposedly represent freedom. But again, I'm going to emphasize this again. The descendants of enslaved Africans were never intended to be recipients of the promise, because slavery was still going on during this time when you get this so-called illusion of freedom coming in. So that kind of sums up what I wanted to say about the Statue of Liberty. Now, let's talk about the other statue standing in Times Square. The title of this one is, I know you've been hearing like this whole fuss, everybody just got their different opinions, and everyone is entitled to their opinions, but people looking at just the surface, they're not looking at what's really happening. Not everybody, but anywho, the title of this statue is called Grounded in the Stars. This statue is a representation of the cosmic mother, or Big Mama. It's the embodiment, just the way it looks. It's the embodiment of the melanated, black, however word you want to use, woman, specifically of America. Who or what is the cosmic mother? A symbol of sacred feminine awakening during the Aquarian age, or age of Aquarius. Reclamation of intuition, emotion, and sacred knowledge. Return of heart-led, nurturing, and ancestral wisdom. Healing from patriarchal systems and restoring balance. Remember, I touched on that in the last video. Cosmic Mother is the source, the primordial existing before time and matter, embodies creation, destruction, rebirth, and divine wisdom. Manifests as universal forces like nature, intuition, dreams, or sacred chaos. And like I talked about before, in our culture, many of us called our grandmothers, you know what I'm saying, Big Mama. Now, the stance of this statue grounded in the stars. The left foot is forward, meaning standing in divine authority, like the statue. If you look up the statue of Ramesses II in ancient Egyptian art, this symbolizes movement, life, strength, and readiness to act, or intentional progression. Hands on the hip, we all know that's universal language. The nonverbal stance of command and confidence, a readiness stance, poised to act or make decision. It's assertive and alert. Now, it's the height of this statue is 12 feet, meaning in numerology, perfection, completion, divine guidance, harmony, cosmic order, and ascension. The grounded in the stars statue, again, is a total contrast as to what I described with the Statue of Liberty. But she is the real truth being revealed by spirit. The title of the Big Mama statue, once again, is Grounded in the Stars, telling us, this is what she's saying: I am appearing before your eyes as a protection against the short circuit of the artificial grid to activate the power/energy within, to activate your memory. I can never be short-circuited because I'm grounded in higher realms. So, okay, let me say this part, then I'm try to break down how my brother explained electricity to me, because I was seeing it, but I couldn't, I didn't have, I guess, the words or the in-depth knowledge of an electrician. So I had to ask the SME, the subject matter expert in that. So it's located, now this statue, the Grounded in the Star statue in New York, is located in Times Square on Broadway Street, 46th Street, facing 47th Street. Times Square, which I did not know, is also known as the crossroads of the world. What is a crossroads? It's a portal, gateway between the seen and the unseen. This, for, like I was saying, they use the Statue of Liberty to manipulate energy and do a reversal rituals. The same thing they have been doing in Times Square, manipulating the energy with what I call artificial grids. Now, if you research like artificial grids, it's kind of like, okay, so you have what they call ley lines in the earth. You really can't, they don't really want you to know, you know what I'm saying, about certain things. But when you start to do the research on it, ultimately, it's like the energetic points or lines in the earth, and all of these sacred places like pyramids and different stuff all over. Like if you draw a line, they connect in certain places and kind of cross in certain areas. So when they started like creating streets and stuff like that, so specifically Broadway in New York, I found it is the original land, street, or road that was used by the natives of the land. And when you talk about artificial grids, what they start doing is they'll create streets to cross it. So that's what I meant by like short-circuiting the grid. So artificial grids short-circuit or interrupt the regular path of energy by creating an unintended path, but in their case, it was intentional, which takes energy but doesn't return it. So, as my brother broke it down to me in the world of electricity, and I'm going to try to explain it how he said. With energy, you have an original path. He said that is, you have a hot side, sending energy, and a return path, bringing the energy back to its origin to create a complete circuit. Now, when it's short circuit, as I mentioned earlier, an unintended path introduced into that original path that does not have a return path. When it's short circuited, that path only takes and doesn't return. Now, with a modern circuit, they started creating these to prevent equipment damage, people getting shocked, because too much power was coming in. So a modern circuit was invented. A ground is added. I think that's how he explained it. A ground is added as a protection against a short circuit. What this ground does, it will distribute, relocate, or divert energy into the earth. Y'all get where I'm going? Oh my goodness. Are y'all picking up what I'm putting down, as they say? This Big Mama statue, I'm trying to get it out how I'm seeing it. It's a spiritual ground, not grounded in anything in the earth, but she's telling you, I'm grounded in the stars. In the stars. See all that thing? Grounded in the stars. A higher realm than what they tried to do. She trumped it. And that's our protection. And that energy is coming back from higher realms. It says, divert energy into the earth. The earth is us. It's causing us to remember who we are. Ancestral coding within our DNA, like knowing stuff that you ain't never studied, like how I'm doing with this type of stuff. Now, okay. So this is how I put those two together and how I know that something was going on. The display, grounded in the stars, is to be taken down on June 17th, 2025. And when did I say the Statue of Liberty arrived? This false illusion of freedom? June 17th, 1885. This is 140 years to date from when, like I just said, the Statue of Liberty arrived in America, June 17, 1885. The false illusion of freedom. What am I saying? By the time I drop this video, this would have happened, because I'm not going to drop the video to June 17th. What I'm saying is, this spell is broken. Broken. The spell of illusion. All of this stuff that's been going on, injustices, just everything that has been going on. Not just within this 140-year time frame I'm talking about. That's just this specifically. The little, like I said, the gateway and the what they use to ritual, the inversion with the Statue of Liberty. That spell is unbinding. June 17th, 2025. When the clock strikes 12. When the clock strikes 12. You hear me? Now that's just kind of what that, I don't even want to say surface level, because it's not surface level. That's just one layer. I'm going to say that. Now, why Times Square, or box time? That's what I call it. Now on a cosmic level, well, I guess that's kind of the same. So on I'm going to just say another level. When time is boxed, this is some of the research I did and notes I took. When time is boxed, it's to control, bind, or delay higher consciousness. What did I just say? That the cosmic energy came, grounded in the stars. And what happens when something is grounded? It sends back energy to you. That's symbolic of you remembering who you are, the higher consciousness. It's activating it. Now, the Gnostics, they view time as a tool used by the lower gods to trap souls in illusion. What did I just say they was doing with this Statue of Liberty? This fake altar anchored in the land. Illusion. The gods, us, like I just said, were boxed into time, trapped in cycles of amnesia. But now we are remembering who we are, our divine form, and reclaiming our power that was sealed by time. What's happening? What is happening? It is a divine or cosmic reset on multiple levels. Multiple levels. Yes. A cosmic reset is what I am witnessing and is unfolding right before my eyes. So like I said, I wanted to tie in this Pope Leo the 14th. Now, when I was younger, and even up until this, till I started getting these downloads, when I tell you I never kept up with anything that had to do with no Catholic Church, no Pope, none of that. I just could not understand it. What was the thing? Why people was acting the way they was acting. But as I stated before, how spirit deals with me. Want me to take notes, and I'm going to give you something later to connect the dots or pay attention to that. It's something to this. And that's literally what happened when I was seeing it on the news. I think I was at work and they had a TV on. Like, I really don't be, you know what I'm saying? Just happen to see it. It's not, you can't hear it, but I'm just reading like, okay, wait a minute now. Pope Leo the 14th. Now, first I want to reiterate what I said about the 140 years. Okay. And how this have to do with a cosmic reset. Because again, like I said, that will be the date when the clock strikes 12. I don't know why they keep on just coming up, but that's just what I keep hearing. When the clock strikes 12, the spell will be broken. When the clock strikes 12, the spell will be broken. Y'all hear what I'm saying? When the clock strikes 12, the spell will be broken. The spell that started June 17th, 1885, and the ritual that was done on the day that I told y'all that President Cleveland spoke and declared it, and he basically sealed it, as I explained earlier when I talked about the Statue of Liberty. Yes, June 17, 2025, that 140-year spell is broken and the unbinding begins. As a matter of fact, by the time I dropped this video, because I'll post this video I'm not posting it until June the 17th. But right now I'm recording it. At any rate, back to what I was saying. So this Pope, the name, like I said, is Pope Leo the 14th. Excuse me. You have this Creole blood that's able to sit in the same seat of authority of the very same people that sent and set these decrees to take over lands and say that no one lives there if they were not Christian. The very seat of authority of the people that sent the decrees and silenced the sibyls / oracles or priestess, or however you want to describe the awesome ladies, and took their very prophecies, twisted it, and perverted. This very same Pope with the Creole blood is seated in that seat of authority now, with all of this confirmation of a 5-gate Like, what's going on, y'all? What's going on? What's going on? So as I'm looking at it, I'm just like, okay, wait, it can't be no more confirmation than this. Again, 140 years equals 5. June the 17th itself equals 5. Leo the 14th equals 5. 266 Pope. The 266 equates to 5. Now, this fifth gate that we're talking about, I believe this is the catalyst for an energetic reckoning. Now, energetic reckoning, by definition, is a period of event when a lot of energetic distortions, whether that be personal, generational, or societal, demand to be acknowledged. It's for it to be exposed, the truths revealed, in order to be brought back into divine alignment. This is why I said a cosmic reset. So this is what you have that's happening now. Okay, let me make sure I got my little list of things that I have been witnessing to confirm this. Well, okay, while I'm getting to that, I'll just go into what I saw. The very first thing was this, I think they said it was the oldest slave home in Louisiana, May the 15th, mysteriously burned down. You got all of this stuff happening in Burkina Faso where they kicking out France or the French, taking back, you know what I'm saying, their land, saying no, we're not going to allow you here anymore. All of this is part of an energetic reckoning. Because what did I just say that the energetic reckoning does? It's exposing certain things. It's also, like I said, bringing forth these things to bring things back into divine alignment. Again, whether that's personal, generational, or societal. And we see, like, as far as society, like the protests, you know what I'm saying? People are just tired of the injustices and different things of that nature. The personal, and it's not about judging what the person did. So let's just take that out of it and look at it from us with a spiritual eye. The guy, that was another thing. The guy, the father in Ohio that allegedly killed the officer for killing his son. All of this is energetic reckoning. Like, how long do we supposed to deal with police injustice? So we didn't heard story after story after story where young black men then got killed by the police. They put on leave, paid administrative leave. Next thing you know, they found not guilty. So these are the things that I'm talking about. I'm not saying anything is right or wrong. I'm not saying that I condone I'm not saying that I do or I don't condone any of the things that I'm speaking of. I'm speaking specifically from with a spiritual perspective, not a religious perspective, not a judgmental perspective. Again, we're talking something that's happening on a cosmic level to bring things back into divine alignment. And the only way that's going to happen is basically what we see that's going on. So yeah, so you got the father that was like on a personal, type thing. And I guess that could be generational because it's been going on for generations. Again, back to the Africa thing, the protests that's starting to break out because of unjust things happening. You got the tree that fell on the KKK Museum, you have, let's see, what was the other thing that I had? It was something else. I saw something about like the city of Decatur in Georgia making a formal apology for its historical role in oppression of Black residents. I said, okay, it's a whole lot that's happening right now. Not just in the United States, but all over. In Germany, I found something where people were protesting because of a shooting of a Black man in one of, I guess, the cities or something like that. And the people are calling for independent investigation into systemic racism within law enforcement. It's like I said, this is it's globally happening, or it's a pattern, like I said, of reckoning. So let me try to pull it all together when I'm talking about the energetic reckoning, signs of the reckoning, or how the earth is responding to the unbinding of the spell. So the mysterious burning, like I said, of the oldest plantation. This is the cleansing of ancestral trauma. Then we talk about nature. So that was fire. So let's talk about nature. The massive tree that fell and destroyed the KKK Museum in North Carolina. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the ancestors been summoned by spirit to end a legacy of hatred. The justice, when I talked about the Black man in Ohio who allegedly killed the officer, took his son's life, echoing basically a spirit of divine vengeance and ancestral retribution. Oh, that was the other thing I forgot to talk about. May the 15th of this year, when we had so this is going to fall under liberation. It's symbolically talking about this. The jailbreak in Louisiana, like an ancestral jailbreak from a timeline of oppression is what was happening. Now, regardless of who got caught, whatever, what they did, all of that, don't look at that. We looking at this again with a spiritual eye, because once the veil has been cracked open, the unbinding has happened, which is, like I said, you parallel this to what's happening spiritually. People are breaking out of, remember when I talked about, well, that was in my other video where I talked about the Sibyls being trapped in this patriarchal system of these organized religions to try to trap the powers and different things that they possess. It's the same things, breaking free, breaking free, breaking free, breaking free. That's what's happening. Reclamation, I think I talked about that. African nations rising, rejecting colonial rule, and reclaiming their land, as I stated earlier, wealth and spiritual sovereignty. Now, this was something that literally I was like, okay, all right, movement plus sound. Because when I saw it and I kept hearing, I was like, what is this craze? What is this thing everybody doing? So this song, Boots on the Ground. You talking about stumping, the fan popping rhythm. This was what I call summoning the spirits of the ancestors in the land. Literally, it's almost like how I see it, it's what's the word? A spiritual combination that was unlocked. Like I stated earlier, like people are subconsciously being pulled or directed into divine alignment. So even the guy who, okay, so let me talk about this for a minute, because I had to do some research on this. I said, yo, what's really going on? The guy who made the dance to the song, he is from I don't know why I think it's Virginia. I believe that's where he's originally from. He states, and I quote, because I read like the little interview of him, when he heard the song, his feet just started moving. And if I'm not mistaken, I think he said he was in a mirror doing the steps to the song. Bruh. So not only that, he said, oh, and I don't want to mess this quote up, but it was something along the lines of, it's like the whole earth is coming together. What? What? What did I say earlier about the grounded in the star statue? What a ground does. It protects. It's redistributing or diverting the energy back into the earth. And for him to say, it was just like a connect the dot moments for me, y'all. For him to say it's like the whole earth is coming together. So subconsciously, they out here, boots on the ground. What my fans there? Pop, pop. All these sounds, that's a spiritual combination that they unlock to summons the spirit of the ancestors and the reinforcement of the ancestors. And that has been proven over and over again. Oh, it was another house in I want to say it was either Maryland or DC that burned. This one happened twice, like back to back. The first day it caught fire. The firemen came out, put it out. Then the second day it burned again. Somebody had just purchased it and was doing renovations or something along the lines of that. And so come to find out, as I started looking into it, I said, hold on, what the heck? This particular neighborhood was known for its racist history. I said, okay, so again, this song or movement and sound is something happening. It's summoning the ancestors, man, for real. Again, reiterate, you got the mass protests just sparking up everywhere. Now, hold on, let me see what else I got. You have, oh, even the people taking a stand for economic oppression. The massive boycott of Target, led by the Black community, resulted in billions of dollars lost. That's a spiritual rejection of false corporate, you know what, BS, and to basically return the values back to the financial aspect, the financial system or economic system. These are all of the little pieces of the puzzles. Again, now, when I talked about the Catholic Church played a major role, which is why this Pope is tied into this with his Creole bloodline, because a lot of the African bloodline, a lot of the Sybil lineage came from that. So it's not a coincidence that now we're starting to hear a lot of the stories and the history that's being unearthed, if you will, or brought to light about the Sybils. And like I said, me even discovering like my lineage and my connection to it and who I am. So peep this. Like I said, I see things. This is the way I see it. And this is the way that I'm decoded. And this is how I'm connecting the dot. A subconscious remembrance. Now, this little thing that's been going on TikTok, a little trend that they call it, where people are turning themselves, well, females are turning themselves, or it looks like they're transforming into mermaids, appearing to be, submerged in like mystical water. Oh my goodness, that's something spiritual that connects to that. So the Cyclic priestesses, as I mentioned before, those tied to the water and the dream realms, are beginning to resurface. This is through symbol and sound. Again, it goes back to what I said. conscious or subconscious, people are being pulled and drawn to come into divine alignment. Could this be? Could this really be what the age of Aquarius is? You have those that are awakened, that see, and then the others that are not quite there yet, but yet and still the cosmic reset or the energy pull or the magnetic pull is happening regardless. Man, yeah, I don't really need to go into more detail about the Sibbles thing, other than like I stated before in my previous video, the Lulu lineage daughters of the Sibbles and prophetess of Mommy Water are basically with this little algorithm that's been happening, revealing these daughters, they're visually being reactivated, y'all. Visually being reactivated and not even knowing. Ah! Ooh, child. So the cosmic reset, or I should say the reckoning, is not coming. It's already here. It is already here, y'all. And these are all of I think, everything that I had been connecting from, again, the two statues, Statue of Liberty versus what the Cosmic Mother is doing with the statue in New York in Times Square. When you're talking about the first Statue of Liberty, representing the illusion of freedom, and then the Cosmic Mother coming in and say, no, not so. I come to reset and bring things back into cosmic or divine alignment. And in the process of me doing that, the gods will remember who they are and begin to emerge with power and protection. Protection, y'all. That's the main thing. Protection. And I think that's it, y'all. What I want. Oh, I forgot to mention too. Let me go back real fast to the boots on the ground and what where my fans at thing. I talked about the guy who created the dance, but I forgot to talk about the guy who wrote the song. His artist name is 803, which is an area code from where he's from. 803 equals 11, a gateway, a portal that was open to get the combination to unlock the call for bringing in the ancestral reinforcements. Boots on the ground. Talking about, hey, we ready. Let's go. Spiritual warfare. You know what I'm saying? Man, y'all, I got to end it right there. But that's what I got so far. And I hope I covered everything. If not, I'll just come back with a part 2. But thank y'all for listening. If it resonate, it resonate. If it don't, it don't. But if it does, you can subscribe, like, and share if you please. All right. Till next time, y'all. When the clock strikes 12. When the clock strikes 12. When the clock strikes 12. I decree and declare the unbinding of the false illusion of freedom. Every false altar anchored in the land shall be exposed and the effects reversed. I decree and declare the illusion of time holds no power over the true gods. We move outside of its binding. I decree and declare the activation of divine alignment and divine order across all realms, seen and unseen. I decree and declare the reversal of every injustice spoken, written, or enacted against my ancestors in shadow or in light. I decree and declare everything stolen from my bloodline for power, profit, or progression now returns to me and mine, multiplied as our righteous inheritance. I decree and I declare continued divine protection by Big Mama, the grand matriarch in our line, covering me and mine in every dimension. I legislate divine and cosmic order as the supreme law, overriding every man-made decree crafted by ego to dominate and control. And it is so. 17 June 2025.